Hey everybody, Tori Hartman here with a Psychic Minute, or a few. I want to talk to you today about something that has really been coming forward for me, and I think what it is personal value and value in our lives. And especially doing this work, what happens sometimes on the internet is I'm anonymous to people, and so I'll get comments that are so odd, and I'll also get brilliant comments. I have amazing people who listen to my blog talk radio show and are in my spiritual club, and I'm really grateful for all of them. And I want to share with you a little bit more about my story, and that was that this part of it, which is that 8 years ago, I lived in Santa Monica, California, and I had a little condo, and I would do readings at my dining room table. And one day, I had set out a map, just so you all know. I created a map of how I wanted my life to look. I knew I wanted to meet and work with somebody in real estate. I knew I wanted to have a home with a recording studio in the backyard. I knew I wanted to be in a relationship that I felt was a committed relationship. And I knew that this was where I wanted to be. My recording studio was to help actors who didn't have a whole lot of money be able to come in and record. So in this, I set out this plan, and within 3 weeks, a real estate guy made an appointment for a reading with me. Now, I didn't know he was in real estate. All I knew is his name was Jeff Lewis. I had it on my schedule, and normally when I make appointments, I usually do like an 8, 10, and 12 on a Saturday morning when I do Saturday appointments. And because I book up so far in advance, Jeff had a 10 a.m. Most people don't break their time with me. And that day, the 8 a.m. and the noon canceled at the last minute. And it was very odd. So Jeff comes and we sit down, and I immediately said, "Oh, you're in real estate." And I told him some things about his life and the projects he was working on. And he said to me, "Oh my gosh, you're not charging enough money. You're really good at what you do." And he suggested that I double my price, and I did at his suggestion because I trusted him. And I knew when I met him that he was someone very powerful. I could feel it. And we ended up sitting and talking after the reading, and he said, "I can help you become a millionaire. Would you like that?" And, it's like, no, I'm happy here. So I said, sure. I was just open. And within a couple weeks, we had pulled some money out of the place I was living, and he called me up and he said, "I have this house that I found over by the Grove in LA, and he said, go right now." I said, "What?" He said, "Go right now." And jumped in the car, and I'd been having dreams, of blacked out windows, and this house with blacked out windows all around it. So I get in the car, I come over to this house where I am right now, by the way, which was all concrete. The whole yard that I'm sitting in was all concrete. And it was a total teardown. And I walked in, and as I walked up the driveway and walked to the back of the house, all of the windows were blacked out. They had painted them black. And I went, okay, there's something here. And when I walked into my extra little house here, which was a renovated garage, it was already half converted into a studio because some of the guys who did music for the X-Files had lived here at one point and done music in that studio. And it started to all come together very quickly. Within 6 weeks of my creating my roadmap and redecorating my life, restructuring and trusting that I was going to be doing this stuff in real estate. And I didn't know what that would look like. I had no idea, and it turned out I was psychic to Jeff Lewis. I was there during the time that the Bravo show was being, developed, and I was his advisor during much of that time, and I loved working with him. And he is an amazing man. And because of him, and he said, I'm gonna help you create this house. And he did. And he calls it a McJeff because it's a smaller version of what he normally does, because it's not a mansion, believe me. But what I realized is that everything that I wanted to create, I did. And I'm at a crossroad now in my life. And I realized recently that my life has grown to a point, but now if you don't weed your garden, weeds grow. If you don't take stock of your life and go, okay, this is what I've created, and I've done much of this consciously, what happens is subconscious things start to come in and they take over your creation. And this is in a 7-8 year period. I mean, I did create this. I have what I, started out with. And to be honest with you, it's time for me to recreate and redecorate my life. And so my weekend about redecorating your life is about consciously looking at the things that I want to place in my life so that I can allow from those powerful root chakra seeds growth again and get to the new level in my life, which is why even now you're looking at me and I'm a little tired, and because I just did an intensive weekend with some people that was just mind-blowing. 12 people came to my house and they were just off the chart amazing folks. And what I'm saying in this is it's really an interesting time because I found the value in the work I was doing 8 years ago, and now because I'm at a new crossroad, I'm noticing that people aren't seeing the value in the work I'm doing. I was doing, when I advertised this class, Redecorate Your Life, and I said a little about it, and I got an email from somebody who said, you're charging too much and people can't afford it, and how dare you, and who do you think you are? And all of a sudden that old part of me was like, wow, how many people hear this in a day? Like, you're not worth it, and I think we bombard people without even knowing on that. Like, why would you say that to a stranger? Why would you hit somebody with that when you don't even know what they're offering? You know why? Because that person desperately wants to be there, and for whatever reason, they can't do it. They feel it's out of their league, and so they have to take it away from other people for having it. And something that hit me in that is, how am I doing that? And I realized that as I'm sharing all this with you, a very powerful part of this is when we talk about value. I lowered the cost from, I don't know how much it was probably close to $700. I lowered it to $300. And then for weekend, with me at my home, right? That's all day Saturday, all day Sunday, working on your life, what you want to do, creating everything that can create this possibility for you. And it's not just possibility. It can be reality if you're committed, okay? I lowered the price to $300 for the weekend, and it's $150 for people in Spiritual Club. And then one person booked. But one person booked at the old price, right? Then what was interesting is I said, okay, well, we'll do it virtually, because I was getting emails from people saying, I really would do this if it's virtual. Nobody signed up. And why is that? And I think it's because where I'm at is I'm doing it again. And I am restructuring my own life. And so as a result, I'm offering people this opportunity to work with. And by the way, I'm doing the seminar with 2 people. So can you imagine the kind of focus that's going to happen with 2 people and me creating their life, their entire map, if you will, redecorating everything they want in their life in a weekend? You've spent time cleaning out your closet in a day. How do you feel the next day? Imagine that, okay? Imagine that, doing that with only 10 people. I'm doing it with 2. Because, like I said, people haven't booked it yet. Now, maybe some people will book in the next couple days, last minute or whatever. But here's the important thing. This is a seminar I'm doing, and I will have results from it because this is the work I do. I'll do it again in January, and probably when I do it, it will have more value because I will once again see the results I've created, and the price will be way, way up. And I'll still get the emails from people going, oh, but you know what? I'll probably book more people in it because I haven't established the value on that yet in myself. So I hope I've made sense to all of you, and I hope that you get the idea that what I'm trying to convey is that we will pay for something that we feel will change our life and make it happen. And I'm saying that to you because, not that you do this weekend, but please find something that you find value in and invest in it. Whether it's money, time, emotion, volunteering, invest again. I think we've forgotten how to invest because we've become so afraid of what other people think. And I really want to change my life and restructure it so it works for me. And it hasn't been working for a little while. I'm not unhappy. I'm happy. But I want to go from happy to like amazing again. Because when I did that 8 years ago, it was amazing. I really would invite you to join me. It's a very inexpensive weekend if you'd like to do it. If not, I hope to see you at one of my other seminars and get to know you some point in the future. Many blessings. See you next time.